What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to talk about ESPN's top 10 running back rankings heading into the 2024 season. And let's not waste any time getting into the video. So here we go. At number 10, you got Devin Neal from Kansas. He led Kansas to a 9-4 record last season. In 2 out of the 3 seasons that he's been at Kansas, he's rushed for over 1,000 yards. Last season, he rushed for almost 1,300 yards with 16 touchdowns. He also had 217 receiving yards and a touchdown. So, hey, he's a complete back. He can get it done with his legs, and he can catch out the backfield. In 2021, he ran for almost 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. Also had over 200 receiving yards and a touchdown in 2021. But like I said, 2 of the last 3 seasons, he done rushed for almost 1,000 yards. Any running back that can rush for over 1,000 yards in a season, I consider him a great running back. That's just me. But anyway, since he's been at Kansas, he's rushed for over 100 yards 12 times. I mean, you don't get too much better than that. You can get better than that, but not too much better than that. But at Kansas, they got a new coordinator, so we'll see if they're going to run the same scheme, if there'll be a run-first offense or a pass-first offense. But with this talent of a running back, I think they should, mix it up, have a balanced attack. That's just me. But number 10, we got Devin Neal from Kansas. At number 9, you got Jaydn Ott from Cal, the Golden Bears. They went 6-7 last season, so you probably didn't hear too much about Jaydn Ott, being that he's on a 6-7 team. Probably a little underrated. But anyway, last season he ran for over 1,300 yards, had 12 touchdowns, 196 yards receiving, and a touchdown. So, but yeah, he was Cal's best player, at least the best offensive player. Hell, the defense wasn't too much better than the offense. I might add that. But anyway, 4 out of Cal's 6 wins, he rushed for over 150 yards. He did that 5 times last season. Rushed for over 150 yards 5 times last season. That is crazy. That is crazy. And I ain't winning 6 games, and he did that 5 times and won 4 games. So, yeah, he was the best offensive player for those Cal Bears. I'll just say that. Golden Bears. But anyway, so, yeah, we'll see what he brings to the team this year. Probably much of the same, but Cal probably won't be no better. I'm going to just tell you that right now. But anyway, Jaydn Ott from Cal is at number 9, according to ESPN. At number 8, you got Trevor Etienne from Georgia. You know, he's a transfer from Florida. Now he's at Georgia. So last season at Florida, he ran for 753 yards and 8 touchdowns. Also had 172 receiving yards for a touchdown. Once again, he can be a threat out the backfield, just like these other 2 guys. But anyway, at Florida, he wasn't the starting running back. He shared carries with Montel Jordan Jr. But his 2 seasons at Florida, he ran for almost 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns. That's not bad either. So, hey, and he done transferred to Georgia. And at Georgia, they like to run this ball. And so he probably will be the number 1 back. I mean, of course, he still got the Robinson guys there, Branson Robinson and Roderick Robinson. So, but he can go in and win, be running back 1. At least I think he can. But then again, Georgia, they like to play multiple backs. So he'll be sharing carries probably with 2 guys now, unless he just get to Georgia and just go the hell off. And have a season like 13 to 1,400 yards. Then yeah. So he probably won't have to share it that much. But he got a good chance of being I'm going to just say putting up better numbers at Georgia. I think so. That's just me. Even though he'll be sharing carries now. Georgia lost two backs in DeJuan Edwards and Kendall Milton. So he came to a good place to be a starter. And just like he said on one of his teammates' podcast, he said, I could have stayed at Florida and be running back 2 on a losing team, or go to Georgia and be running back 1 and possibly win a national championship. And exactly, because Florida ain't got no chance of winning a national championship. So why would you want to be running back 2 on a mediocre team when you can be running back 1 on one of the best teams in the nation? That's a no-brainer. So, hey, he made the right decision, in my opinion, to transfer from Florida to Georgia. And I think he'll get more recognition too. So, hey, it is what it is. But there you go. At number 8, you got Trevor Etienne, Georgia Bulldogs. At number 7, you got Donovan Edwards from Michigan. Donovan Edwards, he wasn't a starting running back, but that guy's a hell of a running back. Last season, only 400 and not almost 500 yards, 497 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. But he had right at 250 yards receiving. Okay, so again, he's a threat out the backfield. Now, in 2022, when Blake Corum was hurt, this guy, he went off. Okay, but anyway, he rushed for 150 yards or more 3 out of 6 regular season games. Almost 1,000 yards on 140 carries. That is crazy. Almost 100,000 yards. Almost 1,000 yards on 140 carries. That is crazy. But anyway, in 2023, Blake Corum came back, so you know he wasn't getting that many carries, and like I said, almost 500 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. So Blake Corum, he was the man at the running back position for Michigan last season. So yeah, Donovan Edwards had to take a step back, but Donovan Edwards did score, I think it was a 41, 42-yard touchdown in the national championship game against Michigan. And then he came out and said he was injured last season. All right. He said he played most of the season with a partially torn patella tendon. So that could have been a reason why he only got a little less than 500 yards, 497. So that could be a reason. But hey, guess what? Blake Corum is gone now. So it's his time to take over. He is running back 1. Donovan Edwards is running back 1 for Michigan, the defending national champions. But again, they got a new head coach in Sharon Moore. So we'll see if he's going to run that same scheme, that offensive scheme that was ran by Jim Harbaugh. So got most of the same players, because when Jim Harbaugh left, didn't too many players transfer. But we got one that did, my Alabama Crimson Tide. But Donovan Edwards at Michigan is the 7th ranked running back heading into the 2024 season, according to ESPN. At number 6, you got Ashton Gente from Boise State. All right. How many of us follow Boise State football? I'm sure it's not too many. But anyway, he ran for over 1,300 yards last season with 14 touchdowns. Also, 569 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. That is crazy. And he didn't even come into the season as running back 1. But their starting running back got hurt, and he took over and never looked back. Okay, and he even was injured for two games and still rushed for over 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns and caught five receiving touchdowns. So yeah, the guy's a stud, man. But anyway, he had at least 100. This guy had at least 100 rushing and receiving yards, 10 out of the 12 games that Boise State had. Now that is what you call the best player. 10 100-yard rushing games, 10 receiving yard rushing games. That is crazy. All at the same time. That's crazy. But anyway, and then even with the off season, he could have transferred to a better team, a more notable team. This guy can play for any team in the nation. He won't, I believe. This guy could have been at Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State or Michigan. And now this is one guy that Dabo could have took out the transfer portal if he would have entered the transfer portal. That's one guy Dabo possibly could have got, because according to Dabo, some of the players in the portal ain't good enough to play for Clemson. Well, this one is if he ever decide to go in the portal. But hey, I doubt it. I think after this season, this guy will probably be in the NFL because he's a hell of a back. Seems like to me he's a hell of a receiver too. Because shit, this guy probably got more receiving yards from the running back position than a lot of receivers in college football. Just my opinion. So, hey, it is what it is. At number 6, Ashton Jeanty, Boise State. But anyway, at number 5, you got Taj Brooks, Texas Tech. He ran for over 1,500 yards last season, 10 rushing touchdowns. Over 1,500 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. I think with 1,500 yards, you should have more than 10 rushing touchdowns. But anyway, he was a semifinalist for the Doak Walker Award. He ran for over 95 yards in at least 11 straight games. Oh, man, these are some hell of a running backs, man. He was the only Power 5 running back to force more than 70 missed tackles. And he did all of this behind a garbage offensive line because Texas Tech offensive line was ranked 64th nationally. So you know he making some guys miss. But that's Taj Brooks from Texas Tech. So, hey, it is. I probably said Taj Boyd. I remember Taj Boyd. I think he played for Clemson, I believe. I think. I'm not really sure. But anyway, Taj Brooks, Texas Tech. At number 5, Taj Brooks. At number 4, you got Omarion Hampton, North Carolina. All right. He rushed for over 1,500 yards last season with 15 touchdowns, 222 yards receiving and a touchdown, man. Again, he was a Doak Award finalist, and he earned Walter Camp First Team All-American honors. All right. He rushed for 100 yards or more in 7 games. These hey, now I see why ESPN got these guys as the top 10. Now I see why. And the next two I'm gonna talk about, they on the same team heading into the 2024 season. So, hey, possibly could be one of the best, or if not the best, running back tandem in the country. And at number 3, we got Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State. You know, he transferred from Ole Miss. He's been at Ole Miss the previous 2 seasons. But anyway, last season, he rushed for over 1,100 yards with 15 touchdowns, man. He had 150 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. But anyway, at Ole Miss, his freshman season, he ran for over 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns with a receiving touchdown. That's as a freshman. This was in 2022. And he earned SEC Freshman of the Year award. And he was a first team All-SEC selection as a freshman. Finished as a Doak Walker semifinalist. That was crazy. And guess what else he did? He, since Herschel Walker, he was the first freshman to run for over this many yards, 1,567 yards, since Herschel Walker. And Herschel Walker, that dude left college, 82, 83 time frame. So yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, it is what it is. First freshman since Herschel Walker took rush for over 1,500 yards, basically. So, oh well, he's at Ohio State now, and this running back room finna be crazy for Ohio State. I can tell you that now. They finna run through the Big Ten, these two guys. I can tell you that right now. So, hey, it is what it is. But anyway, Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State at number 3. And at number 2, TreVeyon Henderson, Ohio State. Crazy. But anyway, again, last season, I only had 926 yards and 11 touchdowns. And he had 230 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. When you ever heard of a running back having 10 receiving touchdowns? Not too many. But anyway, but as a freshman, last season he was a sophomore, but as a freshman, he went off. He rushed for over 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns as a freshman. Well, that was in 2021. But anyway, as a freshman in 2022, he dealt with injuries, man. He broke a bone in his foot, and he had to have surgery and everything. I don't know if that was one of the reasons that he didn't get 1,000 yards last season. So, 926 yards, close to it. All right. But anyway, he rushed for 11 touchdowns in 10 games. So that is not bad, man. So this dude, TreVeyon Henderson, got all it takes. I mean, breakaway speed. He can accelerate through the hole. He got the ability to make defenders miss. So, hey, it is what it is. Anyway, in 2023, he had the 5th highest grade among Power 5 running backs, according to Pro Football Focus. So those two guys, Quinshon Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson, it's going to be crazy with them two. Now, that is a real 1-2 punch. And both of them got the same abilities. Vision, acceleration, the ability to make defenders miss. It's crazy. But anyway, and at number 1, you got Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma State. Remind you, Quinshon Judkins, number 3, TreVeyon Henderson, number 2, both at Ohio State. But at number 1, you got Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State. This man ran for over 1,700 yards last season. 21 touchdowns, 330 yards receiving and a touchdown. 1,700 yards over. But anyway, and the thing about it, he wasn't even. He wasn't the starting running back last season. Coming into the season. Man, anyway, to begin the season, this man only had 19 carries through 3 games. And he had a game against South Alabama where he only got 3 carries and ran for 12 yards. And they lost that game. They got blowed out 33-7. But yeah, he wasn't even the starting running back. But guess what? After that 3rd game, they made him the starting running back. And he took off. This man rushed for at least 100 yards in 8 out of 9 games that he started. That's crazy. And over a course of 2 weeks, he ran for 550 yards and 6 touchdowns. Over 2 weeks, 550 yards and 6 touchdowns. And that came against West Virginia and Cincinnati. That's crazy. That is crazy. And then again, in another game, he scored 5 touchdowns against BYU. He tied Barry Sanders' record. I guess single game touchdown record with 5 against BYU. Crazy. He was Oklahoma State first Doak Walker Award winner. And he did all of this as a sophomore. That's crazy. 9 out of 10 games you rushed for 100 yards. Over 2 games you rushed for 550 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's through the course of 2 straight weeks. Crazy. Then you score 5 touchdowns against BYU. Tyree Sanders single game touchdown record. And the Oklahoma State first Doak Award winner. All this as a sophomore. Can't beat that with a baseball bat. That's crazy. But anyway, those are your top 10 running backs coming into the 2024 season according to ESPN. So let's start from number 1. You got Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma State. Number 2, Travion Henderson, Ohio State. Number 3, Quinshawn Judkins, Ohio State. Number 4, Omarion Hampton, North Carolina. Number 5, Taj Brooks, Texas Tech. Number 6, Ashton Gente, Boise State. At number 7, Donovan Edwards, Michigan. At number 8, Trevor Etienne, Georgia. Number 9, Jaden Ott, Cal. And at number 10, Devin Neal, Kansas. So there you have it. ESPN's top 10 running backs heading into the 2024 season. But I'm going to tell you right now, you know I got to put this in there. My Alabama Crimson Tide will have one of the best running back rooms in 2024 with Jamarian Miller, Justice Haynes, Richard Young, Daniel Hill. That will be one of the best running back rooms in the country. And I didn't even add the freshmen that we had to come in that just got there. So, hey, it is what it is. But y'all remember, be blessed, and I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, and roll damn Tide.